Hi, my name is David Telfer. I'm from Los Angeles, and I'm here visiting JCBASIC company. This is the front desk. As you come in, this is their downtown office here in Shanghai, and I'm going to give you a little tour so you can see the offices here. Now, this is not the factory. We can take a look at the factory later, but these are the customer service representatives. These are the different agents. This is Flyman, who works with me. Who's been a big help for me. Everyone else seems pretty busy, but maybe they'll say hello. Hello. Hi. All right, but they have. So this is the setup. This is the downtown office here, and Claude, who is the owner of the company. This is him.
Hello.
Right here in his office, doing some work. We're not sure what he's doing, but and I'll go ahead and show you some of the patches that they make here. So these are just a number of the different samples that they make. So again, the factory is in a different area, and we'll go there in a little bit. But as you can see, they do the whole gambit of patches. These are embroidered patches. You can see they're a little more three-dimensional, right? So it's you can't get quite as much detail out of an embroidered patch, but you do get that three-dimensional look, which a lot of people want. That's the classic patch look. So if you want to compare that, for example, to a woven patch, this is a woven patch, which means that it's really almost a flat feeling here, but you can get a lot more detail. So it really just depends on what you're looking for. If you made this same patch, you could do it as an embroidered patch, but it wouldn't be quite as detailed. So let's compare this to a embroidered patch. So you can kind of see the difference. When it gets smaller in the woven, you have a lot more detail. And then there's also the edging. So this woven patch has a marrowed edge, which means that it has that traditional patch look. Okay, and that's different than, for example, let's look at one that does not. This would be a woven patch. So as you can see, it's the same texture. It's kind of more of a flat feeling. And it's still sewn, right? So this is not a print. This is sewn fabric, but there's no marrowed edge around the edge, right? So you kind of see the difference there. This feels a little more like a traditional patch, and this is a little more, you can do whatever you want with this patch, but it doesn't have exactly the traditional patch look. Okay, so those are two different types of woven patches, and again, you can see the difference between those and the embroidered patch. Okay, and if you want to see an embroidered patch, that's a woven patch as well. If you want to see an embroidered patch with a marrowed edge, for example, this is also embroidered. So like this patch, it has the three-dimensional feel of a very traditional patch, and it has that marrowed edge around the edge. Now there's also some other types of patches that they produce here. So they're not just limited to that. You could actually get a lot more detail. So for example, this here, this actually looks like a sublimated patch. Sublimated,
Yes.
it's not a printed, yeah. So this is sublimated. It's kind of a heat transfer process. So you can get a ton of detail and a lot more color. So instead of using fabrics, which is what you would use, for example, an embroidered patch, this is using different threads. Woven patch is using different threads. For this sublimated patch, there are no threads. You have the backing, and then you have a heat transfer of color onto the background, and that gives you the really detailed look and as many colors as you like. So for the most photographic look, you typically want something like a sublimated patch. For a medium amount of detail, where you still want a little more traditional patch looking, you can get a woven patch. And for the real three-dimensional feel, the real traditional patch is embroidered. And now they do have one more process that they use here as well. It's a really neat process. This is a really new technology, this digital printing onto the patch, and you get really the highest amount of detail here. And on any of these, you can always add this marrowed edge, which gives it more of the traditional patch look. Hi everybody, welcome to JCBASIC. We're going to take a little tour of the factory here. So if you want to go ahead and follow me, we'll go into the first area. This whole building is the factory, but we're just going to see part of it tonight. This here is the packaging area. So this is actually, we're kind of starting at the very end. So this is where all the packaging happens. When the labels are done, when the patches are done, this is where they get cut, they get processed, they get packaged before they get shipped out to you guys. Okay, so we come by here. This is where some of the setup happens. So some designing happens here, but some of the technical setup has to be done before they can go into production. We keep on going. This is the end of a long day, as you can see, it's the end of a long day here in the factory. Inside here is the thread room. So these are all the hundreds of different colors they use, all the threading that goes into woven patches, embroidered patches. So these are some of the finishing tools. You see some of the woven patches, some of the woven labels here. In here it's going to get a little bit loud, okay? So this is the workshop. This is where the machinery happens. The woven machines are working. Back into the finishing area, you can see some of the different machinery they use for finishing, for cutting, sizing them down. And then back to the package up and set out.